to Hospitality Diva show by Raj Hospitality in association with H&M Hospitality Services and Wanderlust, India's #1 travel magazine. Our today's Diva is a very dynamic and talented hospitality leader, Ms. Shobha Mohan. Welcome to the show, Shobha ji.
My pleasure. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Geeta. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Welcome, Geeta ji, who is my co-host of the day. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Rajji. Welcome, Shobha ma'am.
Thank you, Geeta.
Geeta ji, you should start.
Okay. Shobha ji, you have been dedicated throughout your career on promoting sustainable tourism. Can you just explain it in a layman language?
So, if you talk about the layman's language, I would say just go back to what we were about even 30 years ago, when we didn't see plastic, when we used everything that was that if you chucked it on the side of the road, it would melt with the rains. If you put a leaf out, the cows will come and eat it up. So where everything was about thrift and using it, using all our resources very responsibly. I think even 30 years ago, it was a part of our collective psyche. But to be more detailed, sustainability, and now they talk about regenerative tourism, is to manage your impact on the environment due to whatever activity you're doing. In this case, travel and hospitality. If you are, and everything adds up to your sustainability quotient. So if you have chosen to restore a heritage property rather than build a new one, it means you are repurposing a heritage project, and that adds to your sustainability quotient. Trying to work towards zero plastic is again another thing that would be very good, but because all that plastic in a country where we have forgotten that we have kabadi walas that we can use efficiently, to a time where we are wondering what to do with a lot of our recyclable waste, is, I think, something we've done to ourselves. So plastic, especially in offbeat locations, and you promote a few of them, doesn't know where to go. Everything that you use that cannot degrade or mix with the mud finally lands up somewhere. Don't think it goes away somewhere. It lands up somewhere, usually into the water and finally into the ocean. So these are some of the things, main things that you'll be looking at. Stop cutting trees, keep your area green, try and keep the gardens around you mostly to the endemic species, and not try and get foreign species and grow it there. They are water, they are heavy on water consumption and things like that. Be very responsible about how you use water. Don't hose down your cars, not necessarily, really. So these are some of the things that as a layman you could be doing. Just being responsible, right? If somebody told you only had 1,000 rupees per month, which is what is happening now, how responsibly you will be spending those 1,000 rupees is how you will be looking at nature and the resources nature has given you. So you know that it is limited. There is no infinite resources. The natural resources are very finite. पहाड़ को खोद के करोगे तो एक पहाड़ भी गल के मिट्टी का टीला बन जाता है ना. So that's the idea.
Very nice, very nice. How far do you think that you are satisfied with the way travelers are responding to concept of sustainable tourism? What advice do you have travelers and hoteliers on this?
So yeah, that's actually quite a good question, and you zeroed in on the travelers right away. So for an efficient, sustainable strategy in where tourism is concerned, it should begin with a policy, or should actually be to actually flourish in the mindset of our government officials. It should go down the stakeholders and finally should be accepted by the travelers. Right? Till a traveler accepts it, your sustainable strategy goes nowhere. You can say, I'm not going to give you bottled water and I'm only going to do RO water, but if the traveler isn't accepting it, it's not going very far. So the message for sustainability and responsible consumption has to kind of boil down and flow down right to the traveler. And where satisfaction is concerned, I think in my lifetime, I don't think we can see a complete move from anybody towards sustainability. Even I can't claim that I'm very sustainable. In fact, some of our hoteliers who are on our list, about 10 on 10, even they are not satisfied with their sustainability quotient. Remember, we still get things, I might remove plastic from my house and I can start using bamboo toothbrush and try and carry a cloth bag. But remember, consumables come wrapped in plastic. Everything comes wrapped in plastic. You try and buy things online, they come wrapped up in a huge amount of tape, which is again plastic, right? So I won't say I am not satisfied, but my thing about sustainability is it is not, we don't, this is a quote, somebody, I forget her name, but this is a quote she says, and I've kind of kept it close to my heart, where she says, it is not, you don't want about 100 people to be doing sustainability or responsible tourism perfectly, but we want everyone to do it imperfectly. Doesn't matter, you do 2, you do 3, nobody is looking for perfection, but we all start on the path towards sustainability.
Very nicely said.
Very nice. So RARE as a community is your brainchild. What practices do you want to advocate to boutique hotel owners who are not aware of this community? And what is their takeaway from this?
The community's takeaway, you mean? Or
yes.
For new people listening in?
Yeah, for the new people.
For new people. So I've been lucky. RARE is not my brainchild, but it is something that came together and it built itself, right? I was just for a long time, I wondered what I was. And one day I woke up and said, I'm just a conduit. I'm just who, मैं तो बटोरती हूँ इनको. So these people live and design sustainable properties. And I only bring them, they come to my notice or they approach me and I bring them under a community. The other beauty of this community is that they teach among themselves. So if somebody is practicing, for instance, just this in the pandemic, everybody is talking about safety and hygiene and about this chemical to clean and that chemical to clean. So the community is very aware and they talk about, even before anybody else knows, somebody has discovered that steam is great for sanitation. And so they share it among the community. So the first hotel that came on board RARE actually laid the blueprint for who we are. And as we went along, a lot of the hotels, most of the hotels who came on board brought in small ideas, which was a personal evolution for me. And today what RARE stands out and stands as is not any one person's, nobody can walk away, including me. I can't walk away with the credentials that I formed it or I did it. It's a community that collectively puts out a very strong message for sustainability and responsible tourism, and also regenerative tourism that everybody is talking about now. And they feel the world over, they feel sustainability has to move over to a much larger context, and that is regenerative tourism. यानी कि जो चीजें खत्म हो चुकी हैं उनको फिर जगाना है. We have to rebuild what we have lost.
Fabulous. Ratan and Rain are your new initiatives. How are they step forward from RARE, and how they're different from RARE, and what is your vision for these initiatives?
Raj, mostly when we started off, for a long time, I was just an advocacy company. RARE was just somebody who helped create narratives around these properties. I come from mass communication background, so words are my weapons, as you can say. So I created narratives around them, talked about them, pulled out things that I thought would really impact my narrative. Well, sustainability was one of them. talked about their design element, talked about their stories of their heritage or their initiatives that they were doing. So it was for a long time, it was just a marketing. I only created leads and I put them in touch and we were working on retainerships. And as we went along, and it became a very I mean, this whole marketing model became very unsustainable for us as a company, because you couldn't track back any of the bookings to us. Once the travel agent made friends with agencies, the bookings flowed directly to them. Though PR was another thing. I mean, you staying in Delhi, inbound market being our focus, you had to go and meet them regularly. And Geetaji, and you will know, you are as good as your presence in any company, right? You don't go for 3 months, you are history. Somebody's taken your place, right? So even though that was the thing, we could not we could not give them evidence of our work, which is very important, right? And so which is why we thought we should be moving over to a sales model, which we did in 3 years, which we did 3 years ago. But it was a very difficult switch. I am cued into marketing. I mean, I'm not a salesperson, but of course, the team then slowly, wound itself around to the whole idea of selling hotels. In which case, we wanted travel agents to start routing their bookings through us, just to show traction, and then I thought that, and the pandemic really worked for us, because most of our hotels were focused on inbound, and nobody knew much about in the domestic market. And for the last 4-5 years, I concentrated on the domestic market. Right. So what we did was, but they didn't sell on value. They were selling on deals and price points and offers. So I wanted to create a community that can understand rare, and they can understand how to sell rare on the base of value, right? We are expensive because, right? Otherwise, people say, why is a sustainable hotel so expensive? You must be, basic. And so they didn't, to get the narrative right, I thought I should build a network. And we have about 60 odd agents in about 32 cities helping us sell. And every Monday, I do a training session, talk to them about each and every property, get hoteliers to talk about the property, do walk around with the hoteliers, simply to get them excited, B, for them to understand that to sell to market conservation and to market sustainability, you need a certain sensitivity and you need a certain language, right? Because it is not a straight sell. I'm trying to convert a deal driven market into a transformation content. Somebody who's willing to explore differently, somebody who knows that the luxury of quality, all that exists because it comes under rare. But what they should be asking, the question should be asking, and this is a message for other hoteliers who are not a part of the rare community but who are working with others, is to start putting your conservation initiatives front forward and tell them, okay, this is what we do. You'll see nobody talks about it. It is still very hardware driven. We talk about televisions, we talk about beds, we talk about food and buffets, but we are not talking about what we do to the environment. So that was the idea behind Ratan, which is Rare Travel Agent Network. RAIN is for influencers. A lot of people would come and say, Shobha, we want to work with you. Tell us how we can align with you. And I also thought in this pandemic, when people are losing jobs, but they are from the travel industry, they're going back to their towns and villages, they have the capacity to influence a group of people who are their friends or associates. They can actually sell the Rare hotel, recommend Rare hotels. It's more like a referral system, right? They can tell them, okay, this is there. And we are very happy to share incentives with them, so that sitting at home, just by offering incentives, they are able to get bookings for us and also talk about it. Basically, it is to improve distribution of the Rare concepts. Yeah.
Super.
So you are married to a family known for its work in inbound tourism in India. What made you think on a different space and stick to face the challenges that came within?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm from the South, and when I got married into this wonderful family of inbound operators, my parents didn't know what tourism was all about. And when I said, I want to Mohan, my mother said, but what does he do? I said, tourism. He said, what is tourism? I said, tourism. And my dad had he has one theory. In fact, he had two theories. One of them relevant here is he would say Brahmins cannot do business. So he said, what business? Who can do business? Why do you want to get married to? So businessmen didn't, in our community, you studied, and Raj would know about this. So, but, so I kind of got married, and I was fascinated by what these guys did, fascinated. And they were into incentives, large incentives. And I helped them out sometimes. And the kind of things that they did fascinated me. And I, as a railwayman's daughter, had traveled almost the entire eastern and southern part of India by the time I got married. And also Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, and these places I had been to, Sambhalpur, Odisha. My father was posted in Odisha at one point in time. So I had done a lot of travel, and I did mass communication. So I think somewhere my stars met, and I decided to do. I tried to work with them. It didn't work out. So then I became an entrepreneur when I was 27. I ran a travel company back 7 to 2004. We ran a domestic travel. 2003, we ran a domestic travel company. We were in Gurgaon, and I was marketing offbeat places to people in Gurgaon. And at that point in time, Gurgaon was full of MNCs and a lot of small business owners and media people. So we did very well with that. But that model of selling as a travel agent didn't go very far, because travelers would become friends with the hoteliers, and when they become friends, the next booking to that particular hotel, or if their cousin or associates were going, was direct. It didn't go through me. So we were constantly finding new businesses. So that is when kind of really thought about representation business. And suddenly, the world opened up. A hotelier said, would you like to do this? I said, why not? And that's how it started.
Thank you very much. I think we are running short of time because we started a bit late. So the last question, Geeta ji, for Shobha ji, have you been able to balance the work and career? I know it's the most difficult thing. I've heard a lot about the way you're working, and you're very passionate about the work, and very difficult to get time to match both. So how you're able to do that?
You mean work and my life?
Yeah, the balance.
Yeah. So I've never had a problem with this. First of all, of course, Mohan's mother was there, and by the time we both started to work, we could afford a house help. And I am, as a person, I'm like this. If I'm needed here, I'm here, right? If I'm needed there, I am there. So whenever, till my children grew up and flew away, I've never missed a birthday. I have not, especially for the elder daughter, I have not missed a PTA meeting. I sat through them when they were doing their 10th and 12th exams. I've never faced that problem, because, and of course, thanks to technology, everything came on phone. By the time I think my second daughter went into class 12, everything was came up on the phone, right? BlackBerry came up, and you could do everything on the phone. So I never really found it challenging. I thought I kind of managed it quite well. So of course, Mohan would say, you're always working, but then I would say, so are you. So so we are two people, totally glued to our work and career. So it just never, it wasn't a problem.
Superb. Geeta ji,
Great.
can we conclude?
So, yeah, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. With that wonderful thought in mind, I would like to thank one of a kind, Ms. Shobha Mohan, for discussing your challenges, putting light on the idea, and taking a fore in sustainable tourism. We really appreciate it, and we hope you succeed in all your future endeavors. Thank you so much, Shobha ji.
Thank you, Geeta. Thank you, Raj. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful talking to you, and it is actually, I will say that in the recent interviews, this is one of the best interviews. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Raj. I was really looking forward to this. Thank you, Geeta.